So I was looking through the questions that some of the community members had submitted to Venerable Hengqing. And somebody asked the question, why didn't the Buddha talk about how to relate to your family members? And why aren't there precepts about how to relate to our family members? And actually the Buddha did talk about that. Yeah? We relate to them exactly the way we relate to everybody else. And so if you remember in your ordination ceremony, there's a part where you go to the back of the room and you have the tablets for your parents and you bid goodbye to your family. So at that time, you are going from being a householder to a homeless person, a left home person. Okay, you've gone forth from home to homeless. Yeah, which means that mentally speaking, we no longer are attached to our family and no longer cherish our family and seek our family's comfort and welfare above the comfort and welfare of everybody else. In Venerable Wu Yin's temple, when you ordain as a Shramanera, from that time on, you can visit your parents' home, but you're not allowed to stay overnight there. Yeah? So we are a little bit, more relaxed here about that. But we have to remember that we are left home people. Yeah? So how did the Buddha say to relate to your family? Exactly the way we relate to everybody else. Yeah, when people are coming here for sharing the Dharma, and you hear about their family dramas, you give them counseling according to the Dharma, but you don't become emotionally involved in the family drama of some other people. Similarly, we should not be involved in the family dramas of our own family. Yeah, because that just completely pulls you away from your monastic life. Yeah, and in terms of generating bodhicitta, how can you generate bodhicitta if you cherish some beings more than others? So we have to remember that the people who are our family this lifetime, in previous lifetimes have been strangers, they've been enemies. These people are not inherently, good people that are worthy of attachment. They're ordinary sentient beings, like everybody else. We're born in a certain karmic configuration this lifetime, but upon death, the winds of karma will blow us in completely different places. Yeah, and you certainly don't want to die clinging on to your family. Yeah, what a horrible way to die. So we have to train as monastics, to be emotionally centered ourselves. Yeah, and to treat everybody equally and not have this kind of favoritism or special closeness feeling for old friends or for family. Of course, how we cultivate in our mind, we still may treat people differently, okay? Yeah, I mean, when you see your parents or whatever, you say, hi, Mom and Dad. You don't go, oh, hello, stranger, okay? So, how you treat people is according to the roles that they play in your life. But mentally, yeah, we've got to cultivate equanimity towards everybody. If you remember in EML, the story of Ratapala, remember? And he wanted so badly to ordain. His parents didn't agree. Finally, they realized that he was going to starve himself to death unless they let up. So they did. He got ordained. He left. Do you remember when he came back? when his wanderings led him to the village that he was from, he didn't go directly to his parents' home and say, "Mom and Dad, I'm back. It's so good to see you. You know pizza is my favorite food. Please make pizza for lunch today, and some chocolate ice cream would be really good. And you know everything I like. Please bring it out because I get to visit you now." That's not what the sutra says. Okay? Ratapala went there as he went to every home, holding his bowl with his eyes down in silence. As it happened, the cook in the home gave him food and recognized his hands, I think it was. And then she was the one who told the parents, "Oh, your son is back." Of course, the parents flipped out because they didn't like the way he looked, and they brought out his wives and everything like that and tried to, get him to come home again. But he had the cook not recognized his hands, he would not have, identified himself to his family. Because when you go forth from home, you go forth from home. Okay? Like I said, we are allowing people at the Abbey, people can go home for visits from time to time. But it's really important in your mind, to see your family like you see everybody else, as suffering sentient beings under the control of afflictions and karma. They want happiness, but because of their ignorance and confusion, they're creating the causes of unhappiness. And so you have compassion for them, but you don't get involved in all the family goings-ons and the family dramas and worrying about this one and that one and what they think about you, and if you called them enough times so that you're happy and they're happy and everything like that. So the Buddha did talk about how to relate to family. Okay? Our attachment may not like what we hear. But that's a good thing to look at. If our attachment is going, "What's she talking about? I don't like this. My family is my family. They're my family. And I have the right to be close to them if I do. What's this lady talking about?" If you're having that kind of reaction, look a little bit. Examine, see attachment for what it is. Think of how that attachment will affect your monastic life, your Dharma practice, how that attachment will affect your death and your rebirth. These are the things that we have to practice the Dharma with. So when the Buddha talked about leaving home, he wasn't being mean and cruel. He wasn't saying, "I want to separate people from their families." That wasn't his idea. He taught the Dharma out of compassion, knowing that attachment is one of the most insidious afflictions that keep us in samsara. And that's why he taught that. So it's important to understand the Buddha's teachings properly, and then to look at your own mind and see, if you're having some resistance, where that's coming from. Questions or comments? Yeah.
I would just say that the first time that I went home, I think I probably emailed. I might have written, I don't know. But I wrote down what I could do and what I couldn't, and gave it to him before I got there. And that was so helpful because I got clear about what I was going to do, because I knew if I didn't do that, I would just fall into the usual pattern, because it's so deep.
Yeah.
And so it was so helpful, and they were very good at honoring that.
Yeah.
In a way to kind of, which then helped me some more.
Right. Yeah. So before you went to visit your families, you wrote you wrote down what you could and couldn't do as a monastic, and establish that you need time for your practice and you're not going to go to the movies and this stuff. And that helped them, and they respected it, which helped you. And what it avoided is how we often go into situations with the people who know us very well, and we slide back into the old role. Yeah, and family knows how to push our buttons, and we know how to push their buttons. Yeah, and if we slide into that old role, and if we have a lot of attachment towards them, then a lot of our Dharma practice just kind of fizzles as soon as they push our buttons. And then, of course, we push their buttons. Yeah, we throw out hooks to hook them and get them into our trips. And then we wind up miserable. Everybody's miserable in that kind of situation.
I think we could harm each other if we don't let go of this attachment to families, close ones. I have a strong picture of me being in kindergarten. I was maybe 4 or 5, and I didn't have a close relationship to my parents. So there was a celebration. There was some kind of clown scenery on stage, and all the families there. So I was alone since my mother wasn't close to me. And I was thinking, I was suffering. I was kind of lonely, and all the parents hugging the kids and taking them on their shoulders, and you were there in the back, and everybody laughed at the clowns. And I know as a kid I was thinking, that's stupid. It's stupid that somebody who is alone and they get irritated by these kind of clowns. What do you call them when you make magic, So they're getting faked by this clown making magic, and then there is this kind of girl in the back, totally alone, can't enjoy anything, and I was thinking that's harm. That's what's going on every day in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are all these beings that are suffering, may they be small or old, and we get totally confused by some appearance or by some thoughts and ignore.
Yeah. Right, okay. So seeing quite a bit for yourself how attachment to family makes us neglect other sentient beings, and other sentient beings are suffering, but we're so enchanted with having fun and good time with our family that we completely ignore the suffering of others. Very true, isn't it?